Megas are arguably the biggest thing that Gen 6 added to Pokémon, as they had the potential to bring attention to Pokémon that meant nothing to a large mass of fans by giving their appearance a slick new coat of paint and revamping their stats, abilities, and sometimes even their types to make them primed for battle. Some perfect examples of this are Mawile, Kangaskhan, and Bayonet. However, not all Megas were created equal. And by equal, I mean almost nothing about competitive value, and instead I mean equal by a completely subjective opinion about a few designs. While some Megas look fucking awesome, there are the ones that walk into the room and just get some harsh stares from their peers for looking just really bad. So, here are my top 5 least favorite Mega evolutions, based almost solely on design. But first, shout out to the dishonorable mentions, which go to Glalie, Gallade, Steelix, and Rayquaza. Coming in at the number 5 spot is a dual entry with Mega Latios and Mega Latias. I count these two as the same since they're basically the same fucking design. Regular Latios and regular Latias have the same design as well, but unlike their Mega counterparts, their coloration, sprites, and emotions are actually distinguishable from each other, which makes them feel a lot more different than they actually are. But for some ungodly reason, Game Freak decided that they needed to ruin these two Pokemon by making them the same shade of a dull, boring indigo, and that they also needed to look more like jets. So instead of giving them a more streamlined and sleek design, they stuck some fucking surfboards onto their arms, which for some reason face backwards now, and called it a day. The only way to tell these apart is by looking at the color of their eyes, which is impossible to do with the resolution that they give us on a 3DS. And even though this list is mostly based off of opinions and design, I just have to mention that their stat boosts are so minimal that there's no good reason to use their Megas since they lose out on incredibly good items that they rely on in competitive play, like the Life Orb, choice items, and leftovers. The unfortunate number 4 winner is a Pokemon that I actually really like, which is Abomasnow. When X and Y got released early by game stores and leaks were being spread like wildfire about the game, I heard that Abomasnow was getting a Mega, and I was super excited since I loved using Abomasnow in Gen 5 UU, and because I didn't want to spoil myself about its design, the thought of an abominable snowman behemoth was ingrained in my mind. When I got my hands on X, I knew that I wanted to use Mega Abomasnow on my team when I could. I got to the part of the game where you can get Abomasnow, I slapped it on my team as the final member, eager to use its Mega Evolution, and then I was stopped in my tracks by a feeling of disgust and what the fuck. Why did they turn this thing into a jump bluff out of a frozen over hell? Why did they have to make it slower? Why couldn't they have changed its type to make it better suited for a slow attacker? Why didn't they just make it a giant Yeti? Everything about Mega Abomasnow's design just makes me upset and confused, much like almost every other design on this list. For some reason I kept the Abomasnow on my team for the rest of the journey, but it was my least favorite member by far. Mega Pinsir hurts me. It really does. Pinsir's design isn't anything special, but it's still a solid Pokemon and I like it. Then Gen 6 comes along and fucks everything up by giving this thing some harsh Gen 4 stereotype treatment. They gave it random spikes, an angrier face, the ability to fly, and these fucking stupid arm missile things. I don't care if there's some kind of stag beetle out there in the world that nobody's ever heard of that has these weird things on its legs. Slapping this shit and everything else it gained does nothing but take away from what made Pinsir's design appealing in the first place, which was its simplicity. For the source material they had for making Pinsir, Game Freak did a pretty good job. They nailed the strong bug type thing perfectly, it fit with the other 150 Pokemon it was accompanied by, and it had enough going for it to make it stand out amongst the crowd. Mega Pinsir, on the other hand, just looks like a DeviantArt evolution that an 11-year-old made based off of a monster they saw under his bed when he was 7. But the thing that pisses me off the most about Mega Pinsir has got to be how the spikes on its pincers face outwards. It makes no evolutionary sense. Pinsir uses its pincers to crush its prey by trapping them. So why do the spikes now face outwards, giving its opponent an easier time to slide out of its grasp? Every predatory animal that I know either has straight teeth or teeth that curve back so that anything they bite can't free itself without ripping a part of its body off. So not only is Mega Pinsir agonizing to look at, but it also loses its main way of killing its enemies that it had as a normal Pinsir. GG. Oh, holy shit, what is that thing? Mega Sharpedo is probably the oddest Pokemon on this list. I'm of the belief that this thing would have never gained a Mega Evolution if it wasn't the signature Pokemon of Archie, because why the hell would it? Game Freak was backed into a corner from the beginning when designing this thing, since they only had half of a shark to work with. There's no way they could have given it a second half, because then they would have ruined the torpedo part of its name and design. So they tried to make up for it by over-designing the shit out of what they already had. But this then raised another problem, since regular Sharpedo's design is already so simple and nice. It looks like the end part of a water gun designed for kids, for Christ's sake. And hey, remember how I said that Mega Pinsir got Gen 4'd real hard? Forget all about it, because Mega Sharpedo is 10 times worse. Angry face, big head, lots of teeth, random spikes, and... Wait a minute, what the fuck is up with those spikes? They exist in the official artwork, but they're nowhere to be seen in-game. Were these spikes just part of a prototype design that never got deleted from its official artwork? Also, why would it even need spikes if it's supposed to be a torpedo? And for God's sake, man, get yourself something to cover up all those nasty, unnecessary scars. If I had to sum up this thing in one sentence, it would be, if Sharpedo and Doomsday had a baby. Remember when I said that Pinsir and Sharpedo shouldn't have been given random spikes and shit because it ruined what made them appealing in the first place? Well, forget all about it, because this #1 spot is the worst offender by far. Introducing Mega Aerodactyl. Mega Aerodactyl! Holy fuck, dude. So my last video was all about how I love Tyrantrum, and that's mostly because I love paleontology. So when I heard that Mega Aerodactyl was happening, I was super excited. Then I saw it, and I've never been more dumbfounded by a Pokemon in my entire life. The fact that this thing was not only designed, but also greenlit is absolutely baffling to me. I've never really been a huge Aerodactyl fan. In fact, its base form is probably the least favorite of mine out of all the other base forms on this list. But I still liked it. There is not a single thing that I could think of about Mega Aerodactyl's design that I like. I can think of things I like about the other Megas on this list. Mega Latios and Latias had good potential with the idea the Game Freak had for them. The giant icicles on a bomb snow really emphasize its bulk and power. Pinsir with just its wings is really cool, and Sharpedo looks terrifying, like how a shark should look. But Mega Aerodactyl has nothing going for it at all. I don't usually have problems with Pokemon having stupidly exaggerated human-like facial features like a lot of other people do, but this one design is the exception. Why does it have eyebrows? Why does it have a goatee? Why does it have sideburns? Why does it have nipple covers? Why was literally nothing added to its design other than giant fragments of coal? Actually, there is an answer to that last question. According to Game Freak themselves, Mega Aerodactyl is the true form of Aerodactyl. It's what it would have looked like millions of years ago in the skies. While that's a cool concept, that doesn't give them an excuse to half-ass their job when designing a Pokemon. And if I'm being honest, I can't see a single thing about Mega Aerodactyl that gives it an advantage over its normal form in terms of survivability or evolutionary practice. This giant fucking goatee would have prevented it from scooping food off the ground, and would have made it harder to catch fish from the surface of the ocean, since it's a giant and red alarm to anything that sees it. Its coal claws would do nothing but weigh down its wings, making it harder to take off for flight, while adding no battle advantage since the Pokédex states on multiple occasions that Aerodactyl killed prey with its teeth. The only thing that Mega Aerodactyl could possibly have over its normal form is a larger head to scare off opposing Aerodactyl. But that's still unnecessary since pterosaurs and birds mainly rely on their wingspan to scare off competition anyways. Something that could have been done to make Mega Aerodactyl cooler would be removing the rock typing from it in favor of something better. I've always assumed that the only reason fossil Pokemon were rock types is because they were just survived from rocks, and since Mega Aerodactyl is the form of Aerodactyl before it became fossilized, they had every possible excuse to unrockify it since Aerodactyl itself never screamed "I'm a rock type" to begin with. But no, they went the exact opposite route instead and decided that they needed to solidify once and for all that Aerodactyl is a hardcore rock type for life. It would have been so easy to turn Mega Aerodactyl into a terrifying dragon-like pterodactyl. Just look at this fan art of Mega Aerodactyl before we officially knew it existed. Both of these, while not my favorite things in the world, are immensely better than what we were given and bring me pain for what could have been. So there you have it. Those are my 5 least favorite Megas. They make me upset, as you could probably tell. Maybe I'll do top 5 best Megas in the future, who knows. But, if you like this video, and you want to see more videos like it in the future, please hit that subscribe button, like the video so I know that I'm doing something right with my channel, or if I'm doing everything totally wrong, dislike it, leave a comment to criticize me. I don't give a shit. I might change, who knows. I'm still just starting out fresh. I'm a fresh young buck on YouTube, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, like and subscribe again. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah, I don't know, bye.